to move towards like the question answer session. And also, like, if you want
Sure.
to add any points, Nilofer, it's over to you. Like, if you want to add something, and then we can move for the question answer session.
So I would want to add a few things as the audience wants me to shed some light on. मुझे अगर बताया जाए कि audience को क्या ज़्यादा जानने में interest है, what are they planning on? आज हम उनको अगर कोई ऐसी activity दे दें, तो what would they be? What would be their take on it? So I have a very interesting friend of mine here as well today, who is the National Defense Analyst, Ms. Anza Saqib, and she's a spokesperson for many different channels, especially on equal opportunities of sustainable development goals. And she's good to speak on climate change as well. With your permission, if you want, I can hand over the mic to her for shedding some light on the same because she's a member of Pakistan US Alumni Network and has been highlighting multiple issues regarding climate and otherwise on different arenas. Having said that, since Khawla has been unable to join us today, Anza Saqib, will you be able to give us 5 minutes of yours for today's session? Yes, so she would be coming to give us 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can proceed with the question and answer session. What do you think about it, Musawir?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah,
Perfect.
go ahead. Yeah.
So, yes, Ms. Anza Saqib is a defense and security analyst for Pakistan and works actively for the youth of Pakistan and has represented Pakistan and Pakistan US Alumni Network in White House and others. Anza Saqib, over to you, please. Thank you, Musawir. I'm here as well.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम I
Yeah,
think this
Walaikum Salam. The video is a blur, a kind of blur. I mean, if you can check your camera. Um,
Please check the camera. Just hold on for
yeah,
a second, please.
yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's
Now it's yeah. Now
all
it's
right.
better.
Assalamu
Yeah,
alaikum everyone. Assalamu alaikum
yeah.
everyone. Thank you for inviting me here, Miss Nilofer. It's indeed an honor. I think you people are doing a lot of phenomenal work, and it is so important to talk about the climate crisis in the context of national and international security as well, because we won an award last year. So, out of my expertise are in narrative building and security and defense for Pakistan. But I also help administer an NGO called Dastak Foundation. Um, we have done a lot of work on climate advocacy and uh, the intersection of climate, women, peace, and security. So we won an award last year as well at COP, and so we'll definitely I'll speak to it. I've been working extensively in Chitral, in villages like Rumbur and Garam Chashma, all these places. So I've seen firsthand the impact of the climate crisis, and it becomes quite a bit of a challenge when you know the youth is impacted. So let me tell you a couple of incidents from on ground. We don't realize, but the impact of climate change uh, is quite severe in the northern areas in particular, and especially for women, peace and security. So, number one, when the floods came, there's a lot of internal displacements that happen because people need to migrate from one village to the other, and that puts a lot of women and children at risk of kidnapping, of molestation, etc. And a lot of the crimes that have been reported um, post the floods are involving women and children. The second thing is obviously the reproductive health of women that gets affected. So a lot of the women and children that are listening, the young girls as well. So Pakistan is one of the worst affected countries by the climate crisis, and uh, this has had a direct impact on the biological and reproductive health of the women and children over there, the girls, I mean. Um, what this looks like practically is the fact that their cycles are disturbed. The number of miscarriages has gone up 3x in the past 5 years or so. in the northern areas. So miscarriages happen because there's a lot of stress involved. There are hormonal disturbances. Then, because of the floods and a famine-like situation, uh, the postnatal care, like the mother and child, their nutritional deficiencies are becoming a very big concern as of now, because it's very, very difficult to find the very necessities that children need, like formula milk and basic medicines. So that also has become very difficult, and it's become a challenge. A lot of women are dying in childbirth because obviously the access to the infrastructure of smaller clinics is at stake. So that is definitely one of the other areas. Apart from that, obviously with adolescent girls in particular, their requirements for nutrition are higher in a lot of cases than young boys. So that's also something that is being affected uh, a lot, because they do not get much exposure to the sun or enough opportunities as it is to like, for example, in the traditional system in the north, um, among families, it's usually the girls that are given meat and other uh, items of nutrition much later than the other boys. So it's definitely taking a toll on the girl child as well. So this is one of the areas that I wanted to highlight in particular. Another area where we're seeing a lot of biological impact is the fact that young mothers, because of the stress, they are getting a lot of complications during birth, because in a lot of these areas, the floods now, or even the uh, sound of glaciers melting, have started causing a lot of stress to them. So we're seeing a lot of miscarriages in the first trimester in particular. So that is definitely something that should be spoken about. Then access to menstrual hygiene products, that's also something that is a big concern at the moment, and these are legitimate areas that need to be worked on. Apart from that, there's a lot of cottage industry that is affected. So not just the um, social and biological impact, but the economic impact as well. So on ground, three of the largest, let's say, villages in Chitral region, the Kalash, which is an indigenous community, they were surviving heavily on the cottage industry, like making those traditional handicrafts and everything and jewelry. A lot of that is affected because obviously their access to the raw materials, their livelihood has been severely impacted as well, which is why there's also an indirect impact on the fact that because they cannot earn enough, they're not able to send children to schools as well. So we've seen that ratio going up as well. Then in GB in particular, post the climate crisis, and I'm telling you all of these things not to give you people a grim picture, but a real picture. So you, the leaders of tomorrow, can actually highlight some of these issues. No, when we talk about climate change, we only think about it in the context of, okay, there'll be floods or there'll be glaciers melting, and maybe, there'll be famine, but nobody talks about how the impact of climate change affects all the other areas in our lives, like the livelihood, like crime rate going up, like health and safety, like education. So these are all the areas that are affected. One other major concern is infrastructure. So definitely, like a lot of the children who were due for their board exams could not take their exams because of their floods. So there's a lot of learning losses. So UNICEF gave a report where they started doing some rehabilitation campaigns. So for the areas that were flood affected, a lot of the children that were supposed to appear for the board exams couldn't. As a result, they've suffered 1 or 2 years of learning losses as compared to the other provinces. So UNICEF is working on a project called Tent in a School, which is basically giving supplies to these children to actually have access to education even in these areas. So we've seen a lot of work being done by the local communities, and there's a lot of advocacy that is being done by the youth. So I would, highly advise everyone to sort of work towards creating that change by first of all making people aware. So I think that one of the things that we can do is start with basic neighborhood campaigns, where you are creating that awareness, just like you had mentioned earlier, in terms of the use of the single use plastics and polythene bags, conservation of water. These are things that should be done. Also, I think there needs to be advocacy to sort of implement these things from a very young age, from the primary school curriculum, to sort of create this awareness. Also, I think that there's one area in which people are not working as much or paying that much attention is the tokenization of such initiatives. So, the intersection of technology with climate change. I was in Russia last year, and some young people there have launched an app that whenever like when you geofence certain locations, that whenever there's a check-in or someone has done some good, like taken plastic bottles and recycled them or put trash, and it's even for the little kids. So just like there's this game called Pokemon Go. So when you go, there's a combination of AR and VR. So they're actually getting cashback or reward points accumulated into that app for recycling. So I think that is something, those kind of initiatives really encourage the youth. So if there's anyone that is working in tech, should look into those kind of initiatives. Then there also what the corporates need to do. So anyone who's working in the corporate sector in particular needs to advocate for corporate social responsibility, with particular investments into rehabilitation projects. So we know that one or two big beverage companies have done so in terms of solarization in the Thar Desert in Sindh. Then there's been a few other campaigns. So I think, but the youth here can play their role, even if you're doing an internship somewhere, if you're doing like a management trainee program. I think this is an area where you can actually have an impact, and talk about giving back to society. So I think that is my 2 cents to it. Thank you, Madam Nilofer, and thank you to the whole team. Um, if there's anything else, you can definitely ask us later. Thank you. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again. And thank you so much, Miss Nilofer, for giving a chance to Miss Anisa. I think her name is
Anza Saqib.
Anza. So, like whatever she discussed with us very briefly, a lot of the campaigns, and the real figures from the ground. So, it
Yeah.
was really informative for us as well, and I mean, she is doing a great job. So, thanks from my side as well, from on behalf of Youth Diplomacy Forum. I mean, they are doing. I mean, she is doing a wonderful job, and definitely because of the climate change, it is impacting our life in many ways, not just like we are suffering from climate change economically, financially, mentally, physically. So it is affecting us in many ways. And she also put emphasis on important thing, that is the related to the lives of the women, especially in the rural areas, or where they don't have access to the basic needs. So definitely it is a challenge, and but
Yeah.
again, awareness is needed in this regard. So as a youth leader, or as a young leader, what we can do is we can aware these issues at any level, wherever possible, national, international, regional. So I think we can do that. Over to you, Hania, and then we will be, I mean, taking question and answers, questions from the participants. So, Hania, yeah, so that's from my side.
First of all, thank you so much, ma'am. It was really insightful, and thank you so much for coming and for that insightful session. And now we will now take a few questions from participants. I would like to ask participant, if you have any question, please ask. You can open a mic and use a chat box.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
I
Farheen,
would
go
like
ahead.
to
Yeah.
ask a question if you allow me.
Yes, Fahim, open your mic.
No, ma'am, it's not a fine, it's a Wasim.
Well, I mean, we have
Hello, can you
seen
hear me?
a hand raise. I think Farheen has raised a hand, so she can open the mic and she can ask the question. Are you there?
Any other participant who want to ask any question, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, I can. I want to ask a question if you allow me. This is Wasim.
Yes, Wasim, go ahead.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि आपको पता है कि जैसे जो हमारी हीट होती है वो पोल की जानिब मतलब इक्वेटर से जाती है थ्रू दी करंट्स ओशियन करंट्स सर तो ये दिन ब दिन डे बाय डे ग्लेशियर्स आर मेल्टिंग एंड द ओशन इज गेटिंग वेरी डाइल्यूशन मींस जो ओशन है उसमें से नमक कम हो रहा है और जैसे ग्लेशियर फ्रेश वाटर ऐड हो रहा है तो उसमें जो है ना मतलब डाइल्यूशन होती है वो कम हो रही है तो वो इसके जो सुनामी के हैं चांसेस ज्यादा से ज्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं तो हम इसको प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं ग्लेशियर्स को मेल्ट होने से या ये ऐसे ही बढ़ता जाएगा दिन ब दिन और बदतर होता जाएगा
Yeah, so like this question is from whom you wanna ask, from me or from Nilofer?
सर एनीवन कैन आंसर
So Nilofer, do you wanna add something?
Okay, yes, I would want to add something. जब तक हम ये कि ग्लोबल वार्मिंग पे काम नहीं करेंगे तो इसी तरह होता रहेगा कि जितने ग्लेशियर्स और जो भी अभी आपके माउंटेन्स हैं कोल्ड माउंटेन्स हैं ये ग्लोबल वार्मिंग में देखें हर चीज का एक एवरीथिंग इज मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दिस एंड सो फार एंड द
Sorry, Nilofer, I can't hear you. I think she is having some technical issue maybe. Uh, are you guys hearing? Like whatever she is saying?
नो सर वी कैन
Anyone
हियर यू
can.
बट नॉट
Okay, I think she is having some connectivity issue, so I would like to answer this question. How to stop melting the glaciers? You know, the thing is that it is a natural process. Whatever we have done in the past century after industrialization, you know, we started industrialization, and then there are big factories that are emitting greenhouse gases that are polluting the environment.
हेलो गाइस
So yeah, Nilofer, yeah. So I was saying that I would like to just highlight few of the actions which we can take, and then I'll be over to you. I mean, I'll just have to give some of the actions what we can do, because the question was asked like how to stop this thing like melting of glaciers, because as I said, it's a natural process, and it's just not it's a day like it started a day, it started a month ago or a year ago. No, it started when you started industrialization. It started from that time. And what we are today, it happened in the last few decades that we are here today. We have to switch to the renewable energy. We have to switch to solar, as the ma'am said as well. She was talking about the solarization, wind, hydro. We have to reduce the coal, oil, and gas consumption. We have to promote the EVs, electric vehicles, we need to use the public transport. I mean, this is what we can do. We cannot stop the glaciers to melt. We have to do
Yeah.
something on our own. We have to support the climate policies that can limit the emission of the greenhouse gases, that can create
Right.
somehow, at least I would say, impact at local level. Yeah, so this is what we can do, and this can play a very important role. Yeah, over to you, Nilofer. Yeah.
Okay, so since glacier melt is overwhelming, driven by the rise in global average temperature, which is called by the emission of greenhouse gases, right? So therefore, the single most important action that we can take is to the limitation of aggressive emission of gases. The worldwide governments, industries, individuals, वो जो पेरिस एग्रीमेंट हुआ था जिसमें ये था कि आप अपने टेम्परेचर्स 2 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड एंड 1.5 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड से कम रखेंगे। उसका मतलब ये था कि आप कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की इमिशंस इस तरीके से रोक सकते हैं, फॉसिल फ्यूल्स की इमिशंस इस तरीके से रोक सकते हैं और डीकार्बनाइज कर सकते हैं जो ट्रांसपोर्ट से एनर्जी आती है उसको। तो इसलिए जैसे हम डिफॉरेस्ट्रेशन जो है उसको एंड कर सकते हैं कि हम प्रोटेक्ट करें और अपने जंगलात में और जो लकड़ियां हमारी है उनको प्रिजर्व कर सके, क्योंकि जो दरख्त है वो एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं आपका एटमॉस्फेरिक कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, राइट। और क्लाइमेट पॉलिसीज को जैसे स्प्रेड करने में जैसे हम इस मीडिया पे कर रहे हैं उसकी प्रमोशन करें, और लोकल इंटरवेंशंस जो हम अपने लोकल लेवल पे कर सकते हैं तो वो लोकल मेथड जो है वो इंजीनियर्स और साइंटिस्ट यूज कर सकते हैं। जैसे वो बॉडीज यूज कर सकते हैं कि जो जैसे अल्बेडो है रिफ्लेक्टिवली जो ब्लॉकिंग वार्म वाटर को ब्लॉक करता है उसका इमिशन कम करें, उसका अखराज कम करें। जैसे सरफेस अल्बेडो मॉडिफिकेशन है कि जियो टेक्सटाइल ब्लैंकेट्स है जो हाई वैल्यू एरियाज में स्की रिजॉर्ट्स में है, मालम जब्बा सवात ग्लेशियर टंग्स के साथ साथ उनके पास स्विट्जरलैंड में और अदर, तो वो ऐसे वहां पे जियो टेक्सटाइल ब्लैंकेट्स ऐसे बना दिए गए हैं कि जो उनके अखराज को कम कर सकता है। जैसे इसके मैकेनिज्म क्या है कि व्हाइट फैब्रिक्स इनको कहते हैं, और व्हाइट फैब्रिक जो रिफ्लेक्ट करता है सनलाइट को रिफ्लेक्ट करता है और वो प्रिवेंट करता है डार्क आइस जो कि ग्लेशियर्स में होती है उसको सूरज की रोशनी एब्जॉर्ब करने से बचाता है ताकि ग्लेशियर मेल्ट ना हो सके। ठीक है। और इसकी इफेक्टिविटी क्या है कि इट इज लोकली एफिशिएंट बट एक्सट्रीमली एक्सपेंसिव, लेबर इंटेंसिव एंड नॉन स्केलेबल फॉर वास्ट माउंटेन्स रेंजेस लाइक हिमालयाज या कराकरम। आप सवात मालम जब्बा में यूज कर सकते हैं, पहाड़ी सिलसिलों में गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में यूज कर सकते हैं, बट हिमालयस और कराकोरम जैसे वास्ट पहाड़ी सिलसिलों में ये ब्लैंकेट आपकी काम नहीं आती, जो कि आपकी डार्क आइस को सनलाइट एब्जॉर्ब करने से बचाती है ग्लेशियर की। जैसे आर्टिफिशियल स्नो है, आइस जनरेशन है, तो कुछ ऐसे प्रपोजल्स भी होते हैं जिनमें स्नो कैनन्स को आपको बनाने का बोलते हैं या पंप्स ऐसे बनाने का जो पानी का मेल्ट होना बचा सके जहाँ पे फ्रीज रहे। तो ऐसे मैकेनिज्म इट आल्सो इंक्रीजेस द ग्लेशियर्स मास एंड रेजेस इट्स रिफ्लेक्टिव लेयर। तो जो आर्टिफिशियल ग्लेशियर्स है जैसे आइस टूपाज है, दिस इज ये जो आइस टूपाज क्या होते हैं कि एक स्पेशल एडेप्टिव टेक्निक है जो कि नेचुरल ग्लेशियर्स को बचाने के लिए इस्तेमाल हो जाती है। इसका कैसे कि जो पानी का अखराज है उसको विंटर में एक ऐसी शेप्स के थ्रू अखराज किया जाता है कि जहाँ जो मेल्टेड लेयर है पानी की वो एग्रीकल्चर के पास चली जाती है, यानी अगर ग्लेशियर से पानी की एक लेयर मेल्ट हो रही है तो स्पेसिफिकली ड्रॉ होके एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड में चली जाएगी और काफी इफेक्टिव होती है। ठीक है। फिर जियो इंजीनियरिंग और स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशंस कर सकते हैं। बहरहाल ऐसे काफी तब्दीलियां हैं इसके। आई होप कि मैंने और मुसव्विर ने ये सवाल का जवाब बेहतर तरीके से दे दिया है। अगर कोई और सवाल है तो बताएं, नहीं तो हम इसको कंक्लूड करते हैं अभी।
I think we do have some questions. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, open your
Assalamu
mic and you can ask.
Alaikum. My name is Farheen. First of all, I would like to thank Sir Musawwir for discussing the small steps we can take, such as unplugging charges when not in use. So basically, as a reader, I think this idea directly aligns with the James Clear, who describes in his book Atomic Habits, and it was truly inspiring to hear. So my question is from Ma'am Nilofer. As an international relations student, we have observed that while international leaders in contemporary international system are cooperating on various issues, they are often neglecting one of the most pressing challenges of our time, a global issue like climate
Yeah.
change. uh, like how can being a youth we can encourage them to talk about and to cooperate issues like climate change, even if they will cooperate and they will talk about Paris peace agreement, they can take action, so it can also make a huge difference. So my question is from Ma'am Nilofer, that how can we encouraging our international leaders to take steps on this issue? Thank you.
Okay, so for him, it's a very yes, but the failure of current global leadership, जैसा कि आपने बोला, to address it with the required urgency and justice. इसीलिए we see an ambition gap in emission cuts, we see a delivery gap in climate finances, we see a fundamental cultural failure to prioritize planetary survival over short-term geopolitical and economic interest. So ये इसी responsibility का जो failure है, it leaves our youth like you with a future defined by compounded crisis, disrupted education, collapsing infrastructure, and profound eco anxiety. अब इसका हल हम क्या करें? जैसे मुसव्विर का ये प्लेटफॉर्म है, हम इस पे हैं, हम SDGs के यूथ लीडरशिप के मेंबर हैं और बाकी चीजों के हैं। इसमें द राइज जो यूथ लीडरशिप की है, ऐसे प्लेटफॉर्म्स है, इनके जरिए हम अपनी लीडरशिप की इंटरनेशनल लीडरशिप तक अपनी वॉइस लेके जा सकते हैं, क्योंकि इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ द एडल्ट लीडरशिप, अगर आपके पास बड़ों की लीडरशिप नहीं है, द यूथ ऑफ पाकिस्तान आर नॉट वेटिंग फॉर परमिशन टू एक्ट। हम उनका इंतजार नहीं करेंगे, बट वी विल बी लीडिंग द चार्ज फॉर अ जस्ट ट्रांजिशन, because they are the moral advocates at international forums. We are the moral advocates at international forums पे COP28 में, जैसे मैडम मंजा ने बोला, they won an award on the same as well. Transforming the talk of loss and damage from a technical term into a demand for generational justice. So we as youth are the innovators at the grassroots level, developing sustainable community-led solutions बना के ऐसे platforms के through, negotiations or discussions के through, from the flood plains of Sindh to the mountains of Gilgit and Baltistan, right? So though resilience builders hai hum, we will create awareness through these sessions. We are in December holding another session. Musawwir bhi announce karenge koi aisa session hai hamara jispe we will be inviting leaders from all over Pakistan and they will be speaking on that. Hum iski international progression karenge, isko channels pe leke jayenge, social media integration karenge. तो एक यूनिफाइड कॉल टू एक्शन जो आज हम इस वेबिनार के जरिए मैं अब इसको एंड करूंगी, क्योंकि आई हैव अनदर मीटिंग टू अटेंड, वो ये होगी आपके इजाजत से मुसव्विर, कि इस वेबिनार के जरिए इट्स मोर देन जस्ट अ टॉक, so it must end with a mandate for change. Now we must shift power and resources to those who will live the consequences. Number one, we should mandate the youth inclusion. We must demand executive representation for youth in all climate policy and funding decisions, moving them from advisory roles to decision-making roles. Number two, we should fulfill the climate debt, as global leaders must immediately mobilize non-debt creating loss and damage funding for vulnerable nations like Pakistan, and acknowledging the historical responsibility. Number three, and the last one, is to invest in green futures. We must invest aggressively in green skills training and mental health support for the youth of Pakistan, turning climate vulnerability into an opportunity for sustainable youth-led economic growth. The fight for Pakistan's climate resilience is the fight for global climate justice. Let us all conclusively today commit to supporting and following the powerful moral leadership of youth who are demanding the livable future for all. So thank you so much, Musawwir, and thank you, Hania, for having me today. Thank you, guys. I shall be leaving now.
Yeah, sure,
Thank you.
Nilofer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, Ehsan,
Thank
just
you,
wait for
Musawwir.
a minute. Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
for your
sure.
time.
Thank you so much.